25 weeks to Madiera. Welcome back to the video diary of me, Matthew Flynn, soon-to-be Masters athlete, senior athlete, returning to athletics after a long layoff of several years, and my attempts to get back to peak performance, personal best performance, in an unspecified event, with the goal being the European Masters Athletics Championships in Madiera 2025 in October. So we're obviously halfway through the annual cycle, a whole year cycle of video diaries. So this week we'll be talking about getting back on track, taking on too much at once and overtraining, and yeah, we'll talk a bit more about sleep, recovery, and managing my flexibility and listening to my body. So what's been happening over the last week? We're finally getting back on track. Today was a bit difficult because we had a really long procedure in the operating theatre today. So that procedure, we only really got started about 9:30. It went on till about 6:30. I wasn't operating that whole time. There was different teams kind of swapping in and out, but I only really got away there at kind of 6:30, 7. So really that's the reality. I'm trying to piece together a training programme in between times, and it's not in between times, but accommodating some of these infringements on the programme. So I got down for about 7:30 or so. It's just really important to get back on the track. Obviously last week I was down just the track without anyone else there. So I had a chat through with the coach and explained some of the situation at work, and he was saying just engage in it and lean into it as the body's ready. And yeah, just ran out in trainers tonight, so I just done a decent warm-up and done some split runs, so short sprints of kind of 60-75 metres with an intense start, then maintenance of that speed without pressing and pushing, and then pushing again at the end. This is a way that we use to build up speed endurance where the body's not really ready for all-out sprinting, but essentially we can break down parts of the sprint and focus on those a bit more intensely without the body fatiguing too much. So it helps us develop some of those like top-end sprint mechanics without and allows us to condense quite a lot into the training session, shorter rests and things like that. So that was good. So I didn't train with the usual sprint team. This was the more multi-events team that I've been kind of abandoning for sprint sessions over the last while. So that was good. When you're struggling, sometimes you need some quick wins, and tonight was definitely one of those quick wins. I've just been returning to basics, doing some short sprints and feeling that flow state. So really positive. I feel like I'm back in the swing of things. Difficult to really plan ahead. We're sticking to our goals, so our goals is that by the end of April, the 1st of May, we will have met the NCAA Division 3 or 2 roster standards, so the sort of times or distances that you would have to do to get into a lower league American University team. Very unclear if we're going to make that or not. Second one was to have done a heptathlon competition. So we've done all the indoor heptathlon events with the exception of the 1,000 metres. Well, we have done the 1,000 metres and we've timed it to 3 minutes 45. I'm going to do one last one before the end of April. And so we're on track for that. And then the third goal is to get a welt coefficient of 300. So that essentially would mean for me losing a few kilograms and adding 10 kilograms to my bench press and 20 kilograms to my squat and deadlift. That's a goal that's normally achievable within 3 months. However, it would normally be achievable when you were just focusing on that only. So that moves me on to my second discussion point of tonight, which is goal setting and adding in too much. I think for these 3 months, I have added in too much, and some of that was a bit of positive adrenaline from the first 3 months where I had taken it a bit more cautious and then felt, right, well, not only did I get some success there and got the dopamine hit of meeting my goals, but I was a bit frustrated that maybe the goals had been quite modest, and I was saying, right, let's really press on. And I think it's right to set ambitious goals, but perhaps it would have been fair to have set right one ambitious goal and maybe two less ambitious goals along with it, which is kind of what I did in the first 3 months, whereas on this occasion I've set two quite ambitious goals. And then on top of that, I started eyeing up these different heptathlon scores, and I've mentioned before that I wanted to get a 3,000 point score in the heptathlon, and that was part of my goal, was to complete that in competition. So obviously you're going to be competitive, obviously you're going to want to know what the score was, and obviously you're going to have some sort of meaningful target, but that's taken over somewhat because obviously the first half of this 3 month segment was dominated by the heptathlon. So I think in retrospect, it would have been fine just to say, actually I want to set a slightly more modest goal for performance, but really focus on this strength, or to just focus on that goal, but not try and increase my strengths quite so much. And we're currently in a position where my legs are really heavy from squatting heavy on Sunday. I'm sprinting out on the Tuesday, still got the DOMs, haven't really had the rest and the recovery I needed because I was travelling at the weekend, didn't sleep great last night, and was standing all day in surgery today, and now I'm trying to recover in time to get some pole vaulting in on Thursday. So there's a wee rabbits jumping around here. I don't know if you can see these guys. So yeah, and there's really been questions raised about how much can you really do heavy weightlifting within athletics, and I think the answer is it's really got to be in the off season, and I think that I really like the weightlifting. I like adding muscle. It's a big motivator for me, and I'm probably just wanting to do too much. The idea of taking 6 months off, that's like, I feel like I'm backtracking and I'm never going to be as strong, as big as I want to be. And just the reality is that I need to decide what I want. I can't do it all. So, as we said in our first training block, tempting if the goal was too easy to readjust it, and tempting if the goal was too hard to readjust it. We're going to keep it, and if we don't make the goal, we're going to own that. We'll try and give ourselves an opportunity to meet the goal again at a later point, but if not, then we'll just say we didn't meet the goal and reassess from there. That's the point of the goal. So I've already got a provisional training plan lined up for and competition plan lined up for if we go for the decathlon, and I've already got some targets lined up for if we go for the decathlon. But I'm just really conscious that it's a work in progress, and even tonight, something that's been really helpful has actually been watching my videos back of like long jump, shot put, high jump and stuff, and I really feel like when I'm doing these events that I'm giving it my all, and I'm probably flying through the air, and I don't care too much what I look like, but when I actually go and see that I look really quite lumbersome and lumbering and cumbersome, and it just doesn't look like very good technique. I was even a snapshot of one of my high jumps in one of these other videos when my arms are out here, so instead of jumping like this, my arms are and in some ways that's quite discouraging, but in some ways it's actually quite encouraging, where I'm probably only going to be hitting like pretty decent technique around October time, 5 months from now maybe. May, June, July, August, September, 6 months from now. So I just need to be aware that I'm training strength and technique and power and speed all at the same time, and they will all be synergistic. So, yeah, I've got heavy limbs with poor technique right now, and then I'm going to have light limbs with good technique. So it's not a case of there's only one area that I'm going to be improving on. So work-wise, in terms of scheduling and stuff, there's a lot of kind of family and holiday plans coming up. I'm really trying to get a bit of a break from work because obviously, as you know, it's been stressful. I think that situation's now in a place where it's kind of going to be what it's going to be going forward. And I don't mean that sort of false stoicism that seems to predominate in postgraduate medicine in the UK, where everyone's like, oh, it is what it is, and that's their way of saying I'm kind of getting contractually abused here and I'm not going to do anything about it. Or yeah, I'm going to just, yeah. But it's more like that. I don't think much is going to change from it, and I think whatever damage has been done, and in that area, it's kind of damage to kind of good team working rather than damage to the patients. Thank goodness. So yeah, so I think I'm a bit more at peace with that, and yeah, just a few areas in life I'm just getting a bit more peace on. I'm finally getting on top of some work, kind of admin and stuff, so that's bringing me a lot more peace. Yeah, this is really requiring a lot of staying power at the moment. It's not like I can kind of see how this is all going to pan out, and I just need to toe the line, and I can see it's going to be good, but I just need to not freak out or something. I don't actually see how this is going to work out at the moment with this plan to go to Madiera, and you know, I've led this I've led this diary with talking about personal bests and breaking new ground, and that's exactly what I want to do. So yeah, let's just finish off by talking a little bit about recovery. I've been doing the Headspace Sports recovery meditation module. I've done it before, it's good. It engages with a visualization of liquid sunlight entering the body and allowing it to fill the different muscles and feeling that mind-body connection, and just paying attention to the body and being still in the mind slightly. And I find that's really helped feed into other areas as well. It's really good to have something like that to do, that I can feel like I'm actually helping my body even though I'm not training. So recovery is just really quite big. I'm just really conscious of the intense training that a lot of these guys are doing out on the track. Like some of the guys that are doing sprinting, they're training 3 times a week, and I don't know, maybe they're all a lot younger and the bodies can take it and stuff, but and obviously the more trained you are, the more you can train. But I wonder if there's just if instead of doing the same sort of things over and over several times a week, it'd be better to do some more technical work one day and more longer stuff the other day, or maybe they are building that and I'm only going on one day. But yeah, I think it's just this stat about Jonathan Edwards breaking the still standing triple jump record 6 months after he last did any serious weights because he had glandular fever, and it's almost like he had like months of compensation from that. That's really sticking with me, and as I take things forward, I'm finishing off the heavy lifting now. I've only got another week or 2 of that. After that, I just want to use light weights and really really slim down, really get a proper waist to hip ratio again that's within healthy range, and yeah, develop some explosive speed such as I've not had. I've done all these years of training, and I need to capitalise on that before I turn into one of these big lumbering guys with pretty decent muscle mass, but just a lot of adipose as well. So enough on that. See you guys next time. Peace out.